Welcome back to my channel. Let's take a listen at this conversation between Douglas Murray and Murray and Fox News host.
I think this has been an extraordinary case, Will, and if I can say so at the outset, I always like to say when the issue of Mahmoud Khalil comes up that he has become such a free speech hero for sections of the left and the right in America. But I always say, whenever they try to make him some kind of martyr, remember the name Edan Alexander. He is a 21-year-old who was born in New Jersey and is still, after 18 months, being held by the terrorist group Hamas in Gaza.
I do not understand what is the relationship between Eden and Khalil. I have absolutely no understanding. Can someone give me a brain? Can I borrow your brain if I don't have one? Well, guess what? I do have a brain, and my brain tells me that this guy doesn't have one, Douglas Murray. He is just spitting lies.
If the people who had campaigned for Khalil's release or freedom had spent the last 18 months calling for the freedom of the actual kidnapped victim, the person who has actually been denied all of his rights and much more, Edan Alexander, then I'd be interested to hear these people's thoughts on Khalil. But they didn't. They have spent the last 18 months not just excusing the massacre, but in the case of Khalil and his group at Columbia University, actually praising the massacre. Let me just read, if I may, very quickly, two statements that every American should know about. The first is that the group, Columbia University Apartheid Divest, called October the 7th, the massacre that I write about in my book, quote, a moral, military, and political victory. Now, one of the other things that everyone should know about this group is that one of the things they call for, in their own words, is, quote, they say they are, quote, fighting for the total eradication of Western civilization. I'll read that again because it's so unbelievable. They are fighting for the total eradication of Western civilization. Now, I suggest that Secretary Rubio, was completely...
By the way, guys, the two quotes he just read, they're all his own quote. In other words, you don't see it anywhere else other than if you go to his show or his column, maybe you will see Douglas Murray. I did not check if the quote is valid or not, but Douglas Murray will say anything to make his point and to lie about the whole thing.
Right when he said some weeks ago, what country would invite people into the country and allow them all the advantages of the country if the person in question uses their time in the country to destroy the country?
Unbelievable. Who says they're going to destroy United States? I mean, the students, they come here with a lot of money, millions if not billions of dollar business. Education is $1 billion business. You think that people, this is students coming to United States to destroy the country or to study? I mean, why would they spend this much money to begin with? This guy doesn't make any sense, but that's what his points are.
Not just by, as in the case of Khalil and his group, intimidating Jewish students and threatening Jewish students and hounding them across their places of study, but by abusing the staff at the university, by physically harming people who worked there as janitors, by shutting down public buildings, by shutting down public highways, by many other things. What country in its sane mind would allow people in to do that? If I went and moved to Paris on a student visa, I think one of the things I would not do whilst there would be to try to overthrow the French state.
Unbelievable. Can you see where he's taking it to? Like, students coming to America to overthrow the government. How ridiculous that sounds. And somebody getting a French student visa going to France to overthrow the government. Like, what kind of ridiculousness this is? I mean, this is beyond pathetic.
Because if I did, I'd guess that I could get into trouble. This is
Of course you will get into trouble. Of course you'll be in jail. You'll be deported. There's no question about that. But why would you want to overthrow a government, especially if you're going to study there? This analogy is so bizarre, so strange, and so pathetic. I mean, this is very, very dangerous at the same time because they use this kind of rhetoric to continue genocide. They want to continue genocide not only in Gaza but also in Lebanon, in Syria, everywhere. So they use these kind of incidents as an example why they are, killing people, innocent civilians, to say, oh, we have the right to defend ourselves. Israel has the right to defend itself. And so we have the free pass to kill whoever we want because, see, Khalil, the bad guys are here.
Not about the First Amendment's rights of an American citizen. This is about somebody coming to America who used his time in America to campaign and wage war against America.
It seems like this should be a
unbelievable. Wage war against America. Like, what? Are you going crazy? And this is, by the way, guys, his channel, his name is, I don't want to mention his name, but he's a rabbi. I totally disagree, of course, with the rabbi. He played this video in his channel as an example of how shocking these evidences are, and how Douglas Murray is revealing all of this to the public for all of us to hear and understand and accept that the narrative, the Zionist narrative, is the right one, and they have all the proof and evidence. Of course not. I mean, the quotes he mentioned, 2 of them, we do not have anything he would refer us to for us to believe his story, for us to believe his quotes. It never happened. I mean, unless he would provide some evidence to me, I would be always on the side of not believing his quotes, not believing anything he says, because Douglas Murray is not just a Zionist. He's a hardcore Zionist. He's a lunatic. He wants to commit genocide. He wants to get rid of all the people of Palestine, and that's really what he's up to. And so he's using anything to justify this genocide. Subscribe and join my channel.